Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the South Carolina Gamecocks Dynasty here on EA Sports College Football 25, where today we're going to go through Conference Championship Week and see if we make our first bowl game here in the series. So this has the potential to either be a long episode or a short episode depending on if we have another game on the season. So if you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. We're almost already done with year 2, and I cannot wait to get even deeper into this Dynasty. So last episode, we had our final regular season game of the season where we lost to our rivals Clemson once again, 39-33, and was a game we kind of just shot ourselves in the foot. We were in it all the way to the end before just a couple of INTs, and we just couldn't finish off some of those drives. But tough loss at home. We fall to 6-6, which is bowl eligible, so we should go to a game. But if you remember last year, we finished 7-5 and didn't get an invite. So we'll see what happens this week. It is Conference Championship Week, so there are some pretty big games on the docket for this week. Conference USA is between Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State. That'll be played at the Gamecocks place. Just see who wins the Conference USA. And the MAC is Toledo versus Miami, Ohio, to see who's going to be the top team out there. My money is probably on the Rockets. Big 12 has implications. This is basically a playoff playing game. If you win, you're in. If you don't, you're not. Kansas State, number 10 team in the land, they will face the 18th ranked UCF. So we'll see who gets in out of the Big 12 this season. Sunbelt ranked Texas State, a playoff representative last year, will probably not make it, but still have a chance to at least win the Sunbelt against Old Dominion. It's been a pretty good team this season. In the SEC, a big one, Alabama's last chance at the conference, or the playoff bracket, comes in the conference championship game in Georgia against number 3 Texas. Also revenge game, Jalen Milroe, now the starting quarterback at Texas. He has a chance to knock off Alabama and Heisman contender Ty Simpson in the ACC Championship game. Massive game out there in Georgia. In the AAC, UTSA will face number 7 UAB, so the Blazers still have a lot to play for in this game. If they win, they're essentially going to be in the playoff, so big game for them at home. In the Mountain West, a revenge game. Boise State, the number 20 team, will go up against the number 21 ranked Fresno State. The Bulldogs are the home field advantage thanks to a 7-1 conference record, but that one conference loss does come against the Broncos, so a chance for Fresno State to make amends for their loss earlier in the season. While if the Broncos win, they sweep Fresno State, win the championship, and potentially have an outside shot at making the playoff. I don't think it's going to happen, but never say never. The Big Ten, probably the biggest one other than the SEC in my opinion. Number 1, Michigan. They've jumped up to 1. They've beaten Ohio State again this season. They will play at number 8, USC. The Trojans get to their first Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis. We'll see who comes out victorious in that one. Then finally, the ACC Championship game. Our rivals Clemson are back in Charlotte to face another team who's getting their first ACC shot. Number 4, Cal. The Golden Bears have put together quite a season. We'll see if they can cap it off with an ACC championship. So that is the championship games so far this go round. As we'll take a look at what the bracket looks like currently. This is what it is currently looking like, but it can still get upset. 1 Texas, 2 Cal, 3 UAB, 4 USC, but you can see the teams on the horizon. A lot of wild card teams in as well who don't play this week, so this has a chance to really get upended, and we'll see what happens in the showdown of the conference championship. So I'm going to go ahead and sim, and we'll see what happens. So we do sim the week. We get some unfortunate news. We lose out on 2 wide receivers. 4-star Melvin Silver signs with Virginia Tech, and 3-star wide receiver Demarius Shaughnessy goes to NC State. So we lose out on a couple of wide receiver targets, but let's go ahead and go to the scores. Your Heisman Trophy winner as well is going to be Cade Klubnik. He gets it for Clemson. They get their first ever Heisman Trophy winner. We hate to see that because that's kind of the Gamecocks' one last claim to fame over Clemson is the fact that we have a Heisman Trophy winner, and they did not, but that is no longer the case. Cade Klubnik, 4,020 yards, 47 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions is enough to be crowned your 2025 Heisman Trophy winner. We'll see if he propels that to a top draft pick this season. So congrats to him. And we do go to the TransPerfect Music City Bowl. We will be in a bowl game in 1 week as we travel to Tennessee to face Wisconsin of the Big Ten. That's going to be an interesting showdown. These teams have met once before in a previous bowl game where South Carolina actually was victorious. So we have history against Wisconsin, and we are 1-0 against them. So we'll see if we can sort of right that wrong. It was back in 2014. The Gamecocks beat the Badgers 34-24. So can lightning strike twice? We'll see about that. But we get at least go to a bowl game this season. That is fun. Let's go ahead and look at the conference championship scores because there's a lot to go on. I'm not even looking at the right side of the screen. As we go to the conference championship, Jacksonville State is your Conference USA champions. They beat Western Kentucky 24-13. Miami, Ohio gets it done and also joins the rankings 38-13 over Toledo. Kansas State clinches their spot in the playoff 28-20 over UCF. Texas State beats Old Dominion 41-27 to win the Sun Belt. In the SEC, it was Texas who ekes out Alabama, and the Longhorns jumped to number 1, which means something probably happens, which we'll get to in just a minute. Alabama will miss out on the playoff. UAB slams the door shut on UTSA, firmly committing themselves in the playoff 41-9. Boise State will sweep Fresno State 29-24 to win the Mountain West. And yes, Michigan, the number 1 team in the land, goes down to USC. So the Trojans, for the first time ever, are your Big Ten champions over Michigan. Congrats to the Trojans, 52-44. And the ACC, Clemson with a nail-biter over Cal, 25-24 to get another ACC championship. So let's go ahead and see what that bracket is looking like going into the college football playoff. And here it is. Texas gets the 1 seed. USC will get the 2. UAB the 3. And Kansas State the 4. Those are your 4 first-round byes. So it looks like the ACC champion will not even get a first-round bye. Instead, they're going to be the 10 seed. And Cal's the 8. That doesn't make no sense. Come on, College Football 25. You have better logic than that. But those are the 4 teams in the quarterfinal. In the first round, we'll see Oregon versus Texas A&M, Cal versus Georgia. We'll see Michigan versus Kentucky. So the Wildcats get in. Good for UK. And then Penn State will draw Clemson. And we'll go through all of the brackets in the next episode, which will now be the bowl game episode. Taking a look at what the top 25 looks like going into bowl week. You can see it. Texas is the 1 at the top now. Oregon, Michigan, USC, and Penn State all make the top 5. Clemson now up to 10. And Miami University will enter the rankings. So that is exciting for them. Here's a look at all the bowl games. We'll go through them real quickly to see where some of the other teams ended up. We'll see Birmingham Bowl. There will be NC State versus Old Dominion. Sorry if you hear my dog in the background. And you can take a look at all of the bowl games currently on the screen. Obviously, the playoffs games are the big ones. Texas Tech versus Washington sounds exciting. UCF versus Michigan State. Tennessee versus Ohio State in the Reliant Quest Bowl will be a good one. LSU, Wake Forest in the Gator Bowl, and then us, of course, in the Music City Bowl against Wisconsin. So let's go ahead and look to end the episode at this Wisconsin team. Obviously, this is not a team we're going to see very often in this series, so it is exciting that we get to play a different matchup. But they were good because they were ranked, I think, going into last week. I think they're the 1 team that fell out of the rankings. And at the beginning of the season, they were my dark horse to be potential threat in the Big Ten. The offense is just a little interesting. They have a true freshman at quarterback. So we'll see if we can take advantage of that. I think this is a team that is very vulnerable. And we sit 6-6, and this is kind of a big game for us because we have a lot of recruits who potentially are looking to transfer. And if we lose this game, they might be on the way out. So we'll see how that goes down in the next episode. But thank you guys so much for watching this. I'm excited to bring you guys our first bowl game in the next one. So be on the lookout for that. But make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.